Hey, and today we're going to go through over 3 things that are slowly actually killing us in a developed country versus a developing country. And they're quite shocking, actually. Then I want to tap into a trend that's been really going. It's quite exciting to get into that. And at the end of the video, I'm just going to give you some tips and stuff that I've noticed over my 7 years of going back and forth abroad and going in Canada literally half of my life. Quick little introduction. Hi, thanks for coming into the channel. My name is Brian. And for the past 7 years, I've literally been going half my life in the Philippines and half back in Canada. So I can give you real talk, real information about the differences, the quality of lifestyle, and the cost, so on and so forth. I promise you this, you're going to get real, genuine, from the heart conversations on this. I also promise you I'm not going to be looking for clickbait in the sense of poverty porn. Okay, I'm not into that. It's disrespectful. I'm not going to be sitting there going down the thing trying to do pranks and all this kind of stuff just to get click rates. I'm not a trained monkey. And I'm not certainly going to give you bouncing girls in bikinis. It's not my style. If you're looking for that kind of flash and entertainment, it's just not on this channel. All right, so let's get right into one of the ones that I think is the most important things that is really hurting our health, and that's the food in North America in particular. I would say the developing countries. And look at some of the charts and the stats on this, how much processed foods we're consuming. And it's shockingly bad for how much the kids are getting, okay? I don't want to spend a lot of time on this as far as we all know how bad it is in North America. The sugar intakes, it's a filler. It's not real food. What I want to touch base on, how it's different in the Philippines, okay? And mainly because you see here, you almost get punished for buying organic food. It's a specialty thing. It's highly priced. Most people just can't afford it. Versus there, it's so common. You take a drive up in the mountains or in the side out of the city kind of thing. Everybody's got a little bit of chunk of land. They're doing something with it, and they're selling their fresh vegetables, fruits, right off the street a lot of times, or they bring it to the market. Now, what the key difference there as well is it's a normal thing. They're not using a bunch of pesticides. Now, commercially raised rice and stuff like that, yeah, they do use some pesticides and so on and so forth. But for the most part, a lot of it is just natural grown. They've got a small chunk of land, or even some of the bigger chunks of land, and it's all natural, okay? This is huge, huge, huge difference. I want to give you a quick little rundown on a pineapple story. I love my pineapple. I can buy a pineapple here in Canada, put it on my counter for 3 weeks, and it's still perfectly fine to eat. If I buy a pineapple in the Philippines, I literally have to put it in my fridge, and it's going to go bad after 3 days. There's a noticeable difference. And the flavor, there's no comparison. And this follows along with meat, all sorts of eggs, all sorts of items. I was going to say eggs. I just miss my eggs there. The flavor of them is fantastic. All right. So, and then we're going to go through 2 more things, and I really want to touch base on this exciting trend that's going on after we touch base 2 more things. So the other one would be, I would say, the mental health. Mental health, I see, is the bad part of it. It's really rising, and what's really concerning is how it's rising on the younger generations faster and faster here. When I was growing up, granted, I didn't live right in the city, but near it, and I would still never see it. I'm still in the same position in my living area, but I see lots of it going on. And, in comparison, you just don't notice that there. There is a much happier culture there. It's the depression level, anxiety level is extremely different compared to there to here. And you see it even in the younger kids, how much happier they are, even though they are significantly, for a lack of better words, more poorer. They're happy, and they're really happy, and it's genuine happiness. I myself, over 7 years ago, I had to make a drastic change. What's led me to this? It led me to going away and experiencing something different, and I'm ever grateful I did. And part of the reason why I want to share all this is because of that. I feel so much different and going there and taking in that energy and that vibe and that healthier lifestyle. So mental health is a huge issue that is really concerning, the rise that's going on. And again, I can't stress this enough. The difference compared to here and there is phenomenal. I would base it probably on the food intake as well. If you guys have another comment or suggestion that might be where I'm wrong on that, please leave that in the thing. Now let's talk about finances and getting ahead that way. Here, I would say we have an illusion of being able to get ahead, and that is very dangerous in comparison. Now, just touch base a little bit on, we know how hard it is. Inflation is getting harder, cost of living is getting harder. Owning land and a house, I mean, let's face it, land is almost impossible to own here now. You might get condominiums, townhouses, small lots on a house kind of thing. That's a little bit more obtainable, but actually large amounts of land, very difficult. And out of the price range. And that's what the comparison there is. I know it's a developing country, so in theory, it is more difficult for them to get an income and so forth. And that is true to some extent. What I would say that the illusion part difference, this is what's so different. That pressure is significantly different there. And it's easier to get your necessities met with your food to some degree. Land, if you just work a little bit harder, you can obtain your land much more easier there. There's just, it just seems a lot easier, and it's faster to pay off then, and you can actually work the land and make an income. I feel that there's a lot more opportunity there. I'm not saying it's easy and or significantly easier, but there is a vast difference of being able to get ahead there versus here. And in particular, the illusion, I think the illusion is a dangerous thing that we have going on here because it is completely difficult. So that's my take on it. Correct me where I'm wrong. Now, what I really want to talk about is what's kind of exciting as well is the trend of people that have got, I look at some of the stats, the trend of the people that are considering leaving North America and going abroad is significantly rising. When I first started doing this over 7 years ago, I got a lot of interest in it. People were so intrigued how it was kind of like a more rare thing, just going out by yourself and seeing what it's like for that length of time. And I'm finding more and more now it's common, and more younger families are doing it and considering taking their kids and moving and stuff. It's a moving trend, and it's very interesting. I think it's a popular thing. I think it's exciting. And why be stuck where it's really difficult to get ahead, where the foods are unhealthy, where mental health is an issue? This trend, I personally think, is a positive thing. Mix everything up, and it's anyway. So that's, for me, it's exciting just to see that large amount of people that are looking. Hey, wait a minute, this just isn't working. This system is broken. I need a fix. I need to change something, and here's where I'm going to lead right into where I would say I'd give you some tips. You can change. Things can change. Number one, just start for your own little health. Maybe, look at what you're taking in for food, little things like that. That's a big, big plus. But at a bigger scheme of things, plan ahead. Look at what you want to change, write it down, keep a little bit of a journal, and start following some other videos. By all means, please follow mine and subscribe and leave comments. Definitely leave questions if you have something you want me to touch base on or make a video on. By all means, please leave a comment. But start inquiring. If you started thinking about actually this as a plan, even if it's in the future, that's even better. Start planning now. Start looking at other channels out there and getting information. Start doing some research of actual cost of living, of visas, of how long you can stay there. What are the, government structures? These are also, and again, I'll be doing more videos on individual items like this, but these are things that you can start doing already, okay, to really help yourself along. Planning is key. Getting some information. And then when you get to a point, you can actually even take a small trip somewhere just to see if the culture is different for your liking. And, it doesn't even have to be as far. For some people, they may want to consider a whole different lifestyle in the sense of, moving somewhere. Maybe it's Alaska, okay? There's things that what I'm getting at is you can change. Don't let the fear of being stuck and the illusion blind you and not being motivated to go out and broaden your horizons. Okay, that's the takeaway on that one. All right, guys, thanks really for following along. If you got this far, man, that's amazing. I appreciate it because I do ramble and I get sidetracked here and there. But again, please, if you like this content, really, this is going to be the channel for you because this is what I'm going to continue doing. This is the type of information. Subscribe, follow. By all means, engage. I'm more than happy to engage and give you advice or talk, or if you want to give me suggestions on videos, I'll break them down for you and make some content. Thanks again. Everybody take care.